This is Jarrod Horak, and in this video, I will share my fabulous 5 Kentucky Oaks contenders. And I'm covering all of the Kentucky Oaks 2025 points races on my channel, and through the first 24 races on my Road to the Oaks video series, my top choices have 10 wins, 4 runner-up finishes, and 3 show finishes. 2 of my top choices have scratched out of this Oaks series, so I'm officially 10 for 22 on the Road to the Oaks. And the next Kentucky Oaks points race is the Virginia Oaks at Colonial Downs on Saturday, March 15th, and I will upload that video tomorrow night. And my Kentucky Oaks Day full card at Churchill Downs is going to be available later this spring. You're going to be able to find that at therunawayhorse.com on my shop page. So stay tuned for details for that Kentucky Oaks full card. I'm also going to be doing Triple Crown Series full cards just like I do each year. And I posted my latest Kentucky Oaks 2025 report earlier in the day at therunawayhorse.com on my Kentucky Oaks page. Now, my weekly Oaks reports include points race recaps, updated point standings, and my fabulous 5 Oaks fillies. I'm going to include a link to my latest Oaks report in the video description below. And I posted my Kentucky Derby 2025 report earlier this week, so you can check that out now at therunawayhorse.com on my Kentucky Derby page. And I also uploaded my Exceptional 11 Derby Contenders video earlier this week, so you can watch that now if you're interested. And now it's time to share my fabulous 5 Oaks contenders. We're going to begin with number 5 on my list, Pretty Sassy. Now, Pretty Sassy, she still has to step up and prove that she's a stakes horse. Very good pedigree here. Medaglia d'Oro's the sire. Pretty City Dancer is the dam. Tappet is the dam sire. Brendan Walsh is the trainer. And I've had her on my list for a few weeks. Her last ranking was also 5. And she's one that has back-to-back dirt route wins at fairgrounds. So now she's going to need to step up and see what she can do in the stakes ranks. And she's going to have to elevate her game and run better and run faster. But we'll see if she can do that. She's got the pedigree. She could be any kind. And we'll see if she continues to move forward and if she can step up and make a dent in the stakes ranks. Now, she did breeze a half mile and 49 flat, 16th best of 54 at fairgrounds on February 27th. And then she had a faster workout that was on March 6th. 5 furlongs in a minute point 40, second best of 32. So I'm thinking the Grade 2 Fairgrounds Oaks on March 22nd, that could be a spot that she shows up in. We'll have to see if she does end up in that race. She is working out at Fairgrounds, and she did win her last 2 starts at that oval. The horse that is 4th on my list is Tenma. This one, Nyquist is the sire, and Tappet is the dam sire. Bob Beffert's the trainer. Her last ranking was 6th, so she's moved into my top 5, and she jumped over Pretty Sassy, so she's number 4 on my list right now. So her overall record is 4 for 5. She's lost 1 race, so she was a distant 3rd in the Oakleaf Stakes. In 2024, she won the Grade 1 Del Mar Debutante and the Grade 2 Starlet Stakes. Now, the Del Mar Debutante was 7 furlongs, the Starlet a mile and a 16th at Los Al. And then in the Las Virgenes Stakes, a Grade 3 at Santa Anita on February 2nd, she only faced 2 rivals, and she won that race easily as the heavy favorite. So since the Las Virgenes, she has had 4 workouts, and her last work was a 5 furlong work in a minute and 101.20 seconds, 51st best of 86. That was at Santa Anita on March 9th, so that workout was earlier today. And she is targeting the Grade 2 Santa Anita Oaks at Santa Anita Park on April 5th. The horse that is 3rd on my list is Ballerina d'Oro. This is a Chad Brown trainee. Medaglia d'Oro's the sire, and Tappet is the dam sire. And her last ranking was 3. I've had her on my list for quite some time, and she's one that needed her first start this year in the Devona Dale. But prior to that, she ran well last year. That was in the Demoiselle Stakes where she rallied, and she was clearly second best. Not a lot of pace there. Muhimma was out there controlling the pace. Ballerina d'Oro from the outside post rallied from last, and she ended up finishing clearly second best, beating the lane. So that was a good effort. And then they were going to begin her 3-year-old season in the Grade 2 Rachel Alexandra Stakes on February 15th. She was entered in that race. I actually did a video and made her my top choice, but she got sick the week of that race. They had to scratch. They never got to ship her to Fairgrounds from Florida. So then Chad Brown was able to get her healthy again fairly quickly, and she did make her first start this year in the Devona Dale, a Grade 2 race. She stalked the pace. She was stalking wide that day. And she did pick up the pace in the stretch, and she did just miss second by a nose. That wasn't a bad effort. That was a 1-turn mile. This filly seems like she can run all day. Like that Demoiselle was a mile and an eighth. Her other races on turf route races, she did well. So Ballerina Dora seems like she has a lot of stamina, a mile and an eighth, maybe even up to a mile and a quarter. So that one-turn mile in the Devona Dale was just too short for her. She's not a one-turn horse. She wants to go on and use that stamina in those longer races. And I thought that was a good prep race for her in the Devona Dale, just missing second by a nose. She was my top choice there, but she needed that race. First start of the year. They got her started now, and now she's most likely, without a doubt, she's going to be around 2 turns in her next start. We'll have to see where Chad Brown decides to run her in her final Oaks prep. And I think when she gets out to that mile and an eighth in the Kentucky Oaks, I think she's really going to like that distance. The horse that's second on my list is Good Cheer. This is another daughter of Medaglia d'Oro, and Street Sense is the dam sire, another one with an outstanding pedigree. Brad Cox is the trainer, and her last ranking was 2. So I had her ranked 2 for a few weeks, and she's been on my list all along. And this filly, she just loves winning races. She's 5 for 5 lifetime. She won the Rags to Riches Stakes. That was a listed race, a Kentucky Oaks points race last year. And then the Grade 2 Goldenrod, another Kentucky Oaks points race in 2024. And then she began her year in the Rachel Alexandra Stakes. That was on February 15th at Fairgrounds, but she only faced 3 rivals, and one of the horses she was supposed to face was Ballerina d'Oro, but as I said, she got sick. She didn't ship for that race. So Good Cheer was the overwhelming favorite, and she won the Rachel Alexandra Stakes easily. And then she was back on the work tab on March 1st at Fairgrounds. She worked 4 furlongs in 49.80, 87th best of 130. And then she, in her last work on March 8th, 4 furlongs in 49.60, 73rd best of 117. So they're just giving her these easy 4 furlong breezes. She's fit. She's ready to go in her next start, which is going to be the Grade 2 Fairgrounds Oaks on March 22nd. Wouldn't be surprised if she won that one. Obviously, if she does win that race, she could be heading to the Kentucky Oaks with a 6 for 6 record, and she could end up being the favorite in the Kentucky Oaks. But we'll have to see. We're jumping ahead of ourselves at this point. She's still got to run in the Fairgrounds Oaks, but she's shown a lot of ability. She likes to stalk the pace and just wear down her rivals. My top ranked horse, and I kept her on top even though she didn't win her last start, but that's Muhimma. This is the daughter of Munnings, and Tappet is the dam sire. So you're seeing a lot of similar pedigrees here, where the Tappet is the dam sire for Ballerina d'Oro, also Tenma, and then also Muhimma. And then we saw Medaglia d'Oro was the sire for Good Cheer and Ballerina d'Oro and Pretty Sassy. So there's a lot of similar pedigrees here. All these horses are well bred, and we'll see which ones end up stepping up this spring and then as we get on later into the year. But Muhimma had a promising year last year. She was 3 for 3. She stretched out and handled a mile and an eighth in the Demoiselle Stakes for trainer Brad Cox. And then she spent the winter in Florida, and then they shipped her to Oaklawn for the Grade 3 Honeybee on February 23rd. And that day she had the inside post. She was my top choice. I really thought that she was going to go right to the lead under Florent Giroux. He had the inside post. She had shown very good speed in her other races as a 2-year-old. But in her first start back, the 2 outside runners there just were sent right out to the front, including the winner of that race, Quiet Side. So Quiet Side and 5G were the 2 outside horses, and they were both sent out to the lead. Muhimma was up there with them, but then Florent Giroux just decided to back off, let those 2 outside runners go. But unfortunately for him, the 2 outside runners, they didn't come back. Quiet Side won the race, and 5G was second, and Muhimma was just an even third. She did range up around the turn, but she just couldn't go with the top 2. They just weren't coming back to the field. But all in all, it was an okay starting point. Brad Cox said that that was just a prep race. She was off the layoff, first start of the year, and he's got to be right on that if she's ranked so high, because she's one that's going to have to move forward next time. She's going to have to show that she's moved forward from age 2 to 3. We still don't know that yet. That was a solid enough beginning, but she did have a half-mile breeze in 49.20, 47th best of 110. That was at Fairgrounds on March 7. She is targeting the Grade 1 Ashland Stakes at Keeneland on April 4th. So for her, that's going to be a race that she should do well in. Keeneland's a good speed track. She likes to be up there, and I'd like to see her more aggressively handled. I think Giroux was a bit passive there. Maybe off the layoff, maybe she wasn't fit enough, I don't know. But either way, she ran okay, but not great. But I'm going to keep her on top, give her another chance in that Ashland to see if she can break through and run a big race in the Ashland. and show that she deserves that top ranking. So my top 5 again for my Oaks fillies as of March 9th, 2025. Muhimma is number 1. Good Cheer is number 2. Ballerina Doro 3. Tenma is ranked 4. And then Pretty Sassy rounds out my top 5. So that'll wrap up my look at the Kentucky Oaks. And don't forget to like, comment, and share these videos if you like them. Subscribe to my channel as well. It's free to subscribe. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.